Welcome to the Wellness Insights podcast. I'm Nathan.
And I'm Sean, and today we're going to be talking about water-soluble THC edibles.
This is episode 6, Sean.
Oh,
I
dang.
should have told you about that.
I haven't been counting.
So, this being our 6th one, y'all should probably know by now that we're just sharing our insights based on personal experience and we're not offering medical advice. So, please consult with your healthcare professionals and conduct your own research to ensure any recommendations are appropriate for you.
We ain't no doctor.
Just kind of know some stuff.
From experience and how this stuff interacts with us. I've used water-soluble THC on and off quite a bit. I personally like it a little bit more than the traditional fat-soluble THC. Personally, I don't know if you've tried the water-soluble or not, but
I haven't yet, but
yeah.
overall, I think I prefer like any edibles over, combusting or vaping. It just feels a little, uh, I don't know. It just feels a lot better to me. It almost feels totally different than, you know, taking it through your lungs.
Well, it is. It actually will be learned today. It actually changes to a different molecule. Some of the THC molecules convert when you eat and when you consume THC.
That's
It converts to 11-hydroxy, which is a little bit more potent, a little more long lasting, and some people even think it's a little psychedelic. Uh, I know if I take too much, uh,
you
I'm
see
definitely thinking
things.
some weirder things than if I smoke too much.
Unlike smoking or vaping, where THC enters the bloodstream directly through the lungs, edibles require this digestive and liver based conversion, which leads
Hmm.
to a delayed onset of effects. So that's why you hear the stories about people going on airplanes and they're like, I ate a whole brownie and it's still not kicking in. And then they're getting off the airplane and they're having trouble figuring out how to order an Uber to pick them up.
Go low and go slow. That's the motto for edibles. You can always take more later. You can never take less later once it's already kicked in.
Yeah.
And it is quite a bit stronger. Some people don't. There are some people that don't convert uh, the THC the same, but for the most part, most people it hits them quite a bit harder.
Yeah. I've talked to people who, they're begging for weaker gummies and then turn around and talk to another person and they can eat a whole bag and they're like, oh, this doesn't feel as like anything, you know?
Yeah, and
Everybody's,
those people have there's some kind of like a liver enzyme that's not uh, processing it the same. So when they're eating the THC, it's not converting. They're not getting high off of it or getting the medicinal effects at all. Whereas some people like me, I've got a bit of a slower metabolism and I'm a little more THC sensitive. So when I eat edibles, they hit me a lot harder.
oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm
That's why I
pretty
like water
sensitive too.
soluble.
Well, why don't you explain some of the fundamentals of the differences here? Because that's what our next topic is. It's the difference between water soluble and lipid soluble.
All right, so water soluble, there is a faster absorption rate with water soluble, generally speaking. That's one of the things I like about it. It's a little easier to dial in. You're talking like 15 to 30 minutes as opposed to, and like sometimes edibles can take up to an hour and a half to 2 hours, depending on your metabolism. So it's a little easier to dial in. Uh, there's a greater bioavailability there. So the amount you eat, it could be like 25 milligrams of water soluble might be to someone who usually has the fat soluble edibles, it might feel twice as strong or half again as strong, so like 1.5 the strength. So that combined with that early onset is really helpful when you're trying water solubles for the first time. So you can kind of dial it in. I always recommend water solubles start with half what you're used to.
And it usually, like, because
Um,
it comes faster, it probably goes away faster too.
yeah, it does. That's some people feel like it's a downside. It's kind of like smoking in that way. So or vaping. So you're talking 15 to 30 minutes kicking in, and then probably like 4 hours, give or take, depending on the person's metabolism.
And you could just
Uh,
take another one in 15 minutes, you'll be good again.
exactly, and that's one thing that's really cool about the water soluble drinks is if you're the kind of person that maybe you used to drink alcohol or you're trying to get away from it, but you still want to sip on something some sort of social gathering and kind of get that social vibe going or
Yeah.
relax you a little bit to have better conversation. You can drink you some water soluble THC, and it has the same kind of onset and the same kind of dissipation rate, very similar to alcohol or vaping or smoking cannabis.
Well,
It's a good substitute.
we've kind of covered the advantages of, the water soluble and a little bit of the advantage of, you know, the other way too. Is there any that you can think of that we didn't cover? I mean, we got the times, that's important, and, the bioavailability.
Depending on the product you have, it could be a little more discreet with water soluble because you could just have some in a little bottle and pour it into a drink, like some that Lean on Me cough syrup. It's not actually cough syrup. It's just that kind of texture and flavor. Like, but it's got the water soluble THC in there. It's really good for adding to drinks. Same with like the popsicles. They're really good for that too. Um, some people even put water soluble THC in like one of those Mio or the water enhancer squeeze bottles,
Yeah, I could
and
also
then you can
see
just
like Sprite
put your
or 7 Up or something. It'd be really good to add syrup to.
oh yeah. The different kinds of depending on the flavor, different kinds of juices are really good. But I really like Sprite Zero. Tastes really good with the syrup added to it. Um, and just it's just easier. It's easier to dial in. I know I already said that, but it's a really big point for me. It's just easier to dial in the water soluble because you
So,
take 5 milligrams and it kick in and be like, oh, I need more than that, and then take 10 and
like, our next topic is the advantages of the lipid soluble. Um, I guess it's kind of like a longer lasting effect's probably the biggest benefit, but it takes longer to you know get in your system, and then it also you can't dial it in as good. So I guess it's
yeah.
kind of
If you
like
kind of have
pick what you want to try and see which one's best for you.
yeah, it's good to have a little bit of time or a couple of different days to dial in if you're a novice to dial in your THC with the lipid or the fat-based traditional THC edibles. That way you can try 5 milligrams, see how you're feeling within an hour and a half to 2 hours just to be safe, give it that time. And if you're not feeling anything, I would even wait a few hours for that to wear off before trying something else and then just double your dose the next time.
Yeah.
Because I can't count how many times I've seen like maybe someone eats something and then they take a fat soluble edible and it takes a while to kick in, and then they go ahead and take something else and then a few minutes after they take that, the first dose kicks in,
Boy.
and they think it's both doses, but they're in for a real surprise. Another 40 minutes to an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah, things are about to turn up.
Yeah.
Now, because
But
like lipid soluble THC, it kind of implies to me that, like in the name, that you're what you eat around the time you take an edible, and also like maybe even how much body fat you have on you could affect the way it works.
yeah. So as far as I can tell, I know for sure that if you eat fatty foods with the fat soluble THC, it's definitely going to help with absorption. So I always recommend like some peanut butter or some cheese, something like that. Maybe some fatty meat or yogurt.
Avocado.
Uh, what was that?
Avocado's some good fat.
Avocados. I only heard the adu for some reason. I was like, okay. um, but yeah, any kind of healthy fat, nuts, anything like that would be great. And then it seems like people that have a higher, BMI tend to have slower metabolisms too, because we're insulin, our insulin sensitivity is all out of whack and everything. So tends to kick in slower, and it definitely leaves your system overall a lot slower the more body fat you have, because it bonds to your fat cells.
Yeah.
So, like, let's say you have to clear your system for one reason or another, it might take longer for someone who's heavier to clear that other system if they've eaten a lot of edibles.
So deciding which type of edible is best for you comes down to your preference, what desired effects you're looking for, and how your body responds. So some prefer a quick and intense onset. Even the intensity can be dialed in with water-soluble THC, but it can kick in much faster, allowing for redosing to bring you to your desired level. So dialing it in. Water soluble THC is also discreet and great for those who prefer drinking over eating. I know that, like, sometimes, especially people with higher tolerance, don't want to sit there and eat 10 to 20 gummies, like a whole handful.
Yeah, if you just make a strong water soluble THC drink and just sip on that throughout the day, if you have a high tolerance, that's really really helpful for that. Now it does leave your system quicker, so you have to redose more often. And I would say if you're the kind of person that has a lot of chronic pain and you're looking to get a heavy dose that's going to last all day, that's really where the fat soluble THC kind of shines.
I definitely need to try it. Maybe I can try some of the lean on me since it's on sale. I didn't think of that. I could
It's
put
really good.
put some in tea or something, like the raspberry. Look, yeah, there's a raspberry flavor. I like raspberry tea.
Just don't do what I did the first time.
Oh yeah.
The first time I tried water soluble syrup like that, I calculated for tablespoons and for teaspoons,
Uh
and
oh.
I told Christina, and she thought I said tablespoons.
Oh no.
So I ended up taking a really, really large dose.
Yeah, there's a difference between them tea and
Yeah, there's a
tables.
big, yeah, a big old difference. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the lean on me is 30 milligrams for a teaspoon.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, it
Uh,
should
uh,
have it on the bottles or on the item description too. And these are 2,000 milligram. I think the ones we had before were 1,000 milligram a bottle. So something to be.
is that a 6 ounce?
Yep, 6 ounces.
Okay, so it would actually be like 60 milligrams per teaspoon then, wouldn't it?
Not sure. You're the math master here.
Yeah.
I'll trust your
So
judgment.
I would start with just like half a teaspoon,
Yeah, just to be careful.
just to be safe, or even less, just like a little splash in there, and then just dial it up as you go. I actually nowadays prefer measuring my liquid THC with a syringe, because I believe it's 4 milliliters for a teaspoon, so around 4.5 milliliters. So if you have like a 10 milliliter syringe, you can really dial in how much you're putting in.
Yeah.
If you really want to be cautious, and then you get used to it, and then you just kind of start freehanding it, you know.
Yeah, and if you dial in your doses and know how much you need every time, then you also save on your product to make it last longer too. That's another benefit.
Oh yeah, 100%. Consistency is also it's
Therapeutic.
oh yeah, it's easier it seems to infuse the water soluble evenly through the liquid too. I've noticed that with fat soluble products, sometimes you'll get like a hot gummy
Yeah.
or a weaker gummy that doesn't, like, there just wasn't quite enough THC in one of them, or one's got like twice as much THC as it should, just because it's a little more difficult to blend things in.
Hmm. Yeah.
It doesn't happen very often, but you completely avoid that when you use water soluble.
Oh yeah. Well, we do have a deal on it running from September 1st to October 1st of this year. Um, Save 15% off on the Lean on Me. Use the code Lean15 at checkout. So get
Nice,
it,
that's a
get
good
it while
deal,
you
man.
can.
Get what it gets good.
Give it a try.
Yeah, they're nice. Another thing that's cool too is, if you're talking like, I mean, we're coming up on fall, but if you're an edibles person and you don't want to order something in the summer because it might melt, the syrup is really good to have around. You don't got to worry about liquid melting.
Yeah.
Pretty nice.
It's good that we're coming out of that hot time where gummies are at the highest risk, but you know that.
Always good to keep them on for next year.
Oh yeah, get you a stockpile. Get you one of them boxes like Sean has.
Big old crate.
Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate y'all's time, and it's a little shorter one today, but hope gave you some information you haven't heard. And ever have any questions, you guys have our phone number right here on this slide as well. Might even talk to one of us or one of the other guys on the line.
Mm-hmm. And we shouldn't be taking as long next time to put one up. This one took a minute. But if you like this video or any of the other videos, just hit like on them and subscribe to the channel and hop in the comments and let us know what you thought about it, or if you have any questions you want to put there or suggestions on other videos, definitely let us know.
Well, thank you all again, and hope you all have a great September.
Have a good one.